All right. Ignore vent people. They're talking about cameras and GoPro things. I'm going to put together...
And you can get it really flush to the side of your helmet.
Basically a sous vide water oven. They're now known as water ovens.
Pick one up eventually
which, if you don't know what those are... I don't know what those are. If like you need to take your like a roast beef, a perfect roast beef is cooked to like 131 degrees internal temperature. So at 127 you pull it out of the oven and it rests and it gets there and then it's done. Now, what a sous vide oven does, a water oven does, is you make the water 131 degrees, and you put the meat into either a vacuum bag or a Ziploc bag, depending on if you trust it enough. You sit it in that water. And eventually, that whole piece of meat becomes the temperature you need it to be. And then you take it out, and you could eat it. But you take it out, you throw it in a hot pan or under a broiler, you crisp up the outside, and it's perfect. I'll link to the subreddit, the sous vide subreddit, in the description. So basically what this is going to do, this rig, is going to take this cooler. It's going to fill it with water. I'm going to use this little Inkbird temperature probe controller to heat up this 800 watt element, which is sitting in the water. And it's going to get the water precisely to whatever temperature I need, and it can bounce up and down like I think 2 degrees. This is the smallest increment you could set on this. So it's going to go, let's say I'm doing pork. If I want to just get one of those vacuum sealed things of pork ribs from Costco, I just set this to 160 degrees, drop my ribs in it, and you know, anywhere from like 18 to 48 hours, depending on what recipe you read. You just go in there, you take them out, and you throw them into the broiler, and they're the best. Everything's the best. There's even hamburger things. So this is super cheap. This is like $16, which is what inspired me to make this video. This was $9, but it's not really designed for water application. Like here's the exposed contacts that 110 are going through. So we're gonna have to be real careful when we place this. Extension cord, this piece of pipe from a hardware store, some brackets, some electrical plates, some things, tools. This should be under $60 total. Because the little thing you can buy like a little sous vide heater that you just drop in a bucket, and it has a heater in it and it's got the temperature reader in it. It spins the water around. Ooh, it's like $400 or $200. It's stupid. I was not paying $250 for a little stick heater. So let's do this the Zeos way, which is as cheap as shit and just as good way. Get an extension cord, cut the end off. Now we're going to need a piece of this wire. I got a long extension cord so I could place this sort of anywhere, because if it's going to go for like 40 hours, you don't want it sitting up in your kitchen counter. You could put it like on the side of the stove or something. It's not super hot. So I got like a 9-foot extension cord that I cut the end off. And this Inkbird gets wired up. You can see the diagram on here. This one is a dual relay, which means if it's below the temperature you set, it'll put on a heater relay, and if it goes above it, it'll put on a cooling relay, which we're not using. So we're only using one of the relays, but it's the same price as the one with one relay, so we're using it anyway. Now, power thing. Basically, this pipe is here just to keep this from touching the walls or bottom. I'm going to end up drilling a bunch of holes in it using this stainless wire just to suspend it like dead center of this. And then I'm going to build a bracket to mount to this heavy piece of galvanized steel. So this will just sit in there on an angle. Cool water will go in, get heated, come out. It'll make a nice convex current. We're going to drill a few holes in this, not a lot. Probably more holes here and more holes here. This way it's sort of like makes flow go. First things first, we need to wire this bitch up. So now the way you wire this up, if you read the instructions, you have to split the hot. So the hot lead that's coming off of the actual, 110. We're talking 110 here, people. This is not 12 volt where you mess up, it sort of doesn't shock you. This will throw circuit breakers if you screw up. So the way this has to work, and I'm using this set of things as my crimp.
Last year we talked up a lot of companies and just networking kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then a whole lot of products.
Nice. Nice. Ignore these bitches. I'm going AFK for a bit.
Over there.
So, yeah, basically you split the hot and the ground. So this heater element gets fed directly from this. And then, so this needs power and this needs power, and then we just throw the ground is what we're doing. So, I have to strip that. And actually I need a little piece of extra wire, so I'm going to cut it off of this. I should be able to get 2 of these in here. This is a yellow. Yeah. Just long enough to go like there. Boop. Boop. It's a stray piece of copper. Okay. So now I've got, and the question is, does hot and ground matter? It shouldn't, it's alternating current. We could follow it if we wanted to. The smaller blade is always the positive, so that's the smooth side. So that's this side. Now basically we want to throw, I could just crimp this on both ends. I always preload this first. Insert, crimp, and we're good. Alright, now we need to go, now do I want to go out to the heater? Because the distance from here to the heater is going to matter right now. So I'm going to go get an extra piece of wire. So give me a sec. Alright, now since we're using 110 here, it's smart to use wire designed for 110. Heavy insulated. There's another cord that I just had cut off of like an old lamp or something. And I'm going to use this to extend away from where we're working. So the white extension cord here, this is our main power lead. And I'm going to use this to teleport the power to the 800 watt element. So that could just get attached again. Careful when you're stripping this. It's got a silicone shield on it, so you might want to like chop. There you go. You don't need much. Now, if I'm going to extend it with this, I don't need the big yellow ones. I could use the reds. If you don't have a bag like this, go to Waytech Wire and just buy as many of these as you can. Well, these are cut at different lengths, and that's fine. I'll just cut one of those. I didn't do like I said. I didn't do like I said. I want to get it in there just far enough to actually crimp down, not on the insulation, on the metal itself. It's just making it easier for us to work with. I'm also going to try to take photographs and make an imager instruction out of this, because that's where the views are. Alright, so that's there. Now, since this is AC, and it says 110 volt, 800 watt, a positive, negative don't matter on the heating element. Just power going through it's going to make it hot. And I've already tested this. I was able to get my pot of water up to like 165 degrees from 80 in 18 minutes. That was just without the control. I was just straight up electricity running through my pot. See, which one do I got to cut shorter? Doesn't matter. Boop boop. Boop boop be doop. Crimpy. In, squeeze, open. Same thing. I'm going to try to make this video fast. Might even do a supercut Kip K style, which I never do anyway. So this is the part, so Kip K does something and it's like 3 seconds, and then do this, and then do this, and then you've got a rocket-powered sled. It's like, wow, he really didn't give those people enough time. Now I'm going to cut this head off, but I'm going to leave like that much in case I do need to use it. Because now I can take these two things and make the world's shortest extension cord. Actually, that might come in handy, just having like that. Alright, so now that's how much room I've given, because this red wire, these red wires do actually get hot. So I'm going to probably keep them looped like that and in the unit entirely. I don't want it touching. I'm not sure if I'm using the lid or not when I'm cooking with this. I've never cooked with it because I haven't built it yet. But these are the things we're going to find out. And as far as vacuum sealing goes, you can buy a vacuum sealer if you want. I'm not 100% sold on that need yet. Where'd the white extension cord go? Okay. Now, so what we need to feed in this, power in, power in, power out, and then out and out and in. Let's see. I can wire this in there right now. I'll just unscrew. You got a little door. You put in the little door. You gotta check your measurements or else it'll stick out too far. Okay, dokie. Now, this, the way this works is these two terminals will touch and power can traverse. It doesn't transport power through the unit. It only this is an on-off right here, like a clicker switch. So once you realize that, you realize how to hook this all together. So that's coming off. In the door. Okay. You can go over here. Make sure you don't test it on the desk with the 800 watt stick or whatever it's on will just melt. Just frickin' melt. Now, we need, so let's assume that this is the hot and the hot. So we could wire that up to hot. Right? This way, it's just not going to contact ground. The ground's going to have to contact through this. So I need a little jumper as well, which I'll use this for. Actually, let's wire this up. Because I'm doing it in my head, and I know it's simple. It's like the simplest wiring schematic possible. But that doesn't mean I'm any, 110 we're dealing with here. Actually, strip those a little bit longer because we're sharing it. And we may not make it into the shield. Not Nick Fury's shield, the other shield. Okay, this one. Now we were saying hot was smooth, so just for fun, we'll do that. Set this up, make sure we're in there, make sure our jaws are going to crush down. Right next to each other, yeah. Lefty, backwards. Backwards, lefty. This is exactly how the pros do it. 1 and then 2. Because it is a rather thick bundle, and yellow is the biggest I got. Squeeze. Yeah. Alright. If any of that copper's sticking out, just electrical tape this. Even though there is a shield that comes with this to cover everything, it's not going to be big enough to cover everything. Alright, so now our element's going to get hot, and our unit's going to get hot. So now we have to give our element ground and the unit ground. And that's going to come via another split. We need another piece of this. I want to do this already. Alright. No. Yes. That's going to throw. Brain fart. Hold on a second. The hot gets out and goes to the unit like it's doing. Then it comes back in. Now this is going to click together and then touch. So right now these aren't touching. Alright, that's fine. Use white and black. And if you're given an option of white and black, assume the black is neutral and the white is hot. Or vice versa, depending on what goddamn province you're in. They're the same gauge wire, they're just different gauge. Different amounts of insulation. Okay. Gates open. Alright, so now this is going to go and get split here along with that one. I shouldn't have attached it there first. Making this harder on myself. And actually I'm going to strip this too. Just throw that stuff everywhere. One. Come on, would you rather be watching me do this or Paul Blart Mole Cop? Paul Blart Mole Cop is not about to help you cook a steak. That's fine. Give these a bit of a twist. Ignore that twist because we still haven't set this up. Yeah, basically you need it for both. So we can squeeze this one in, and then we can squeeze this one in right beside it. This is what I should have done with the first one. There. Both of them are nice. Actually, where's my other? Sort of oblong, the guard. There we go. Correctly. Squeeze. Okay, so now we have hot, hot, and we're going to have ground, ground. But the heater's not going to turn on because that's controlled by the unit. And for the love of God, do not let any little stray things hang out. This is not a speaker wire. This is 110 we're talking about here. If you've never used 110 before, get a friend who has dealt with this stuff to deal with it for you. Make sure that's open all the way. Boom, boom. Take a picture of that. Perfect. All right. We can now give this a test. If it's not caught in my chair, that's a safety feature right there. I'm just going to give this a 2-second test in my little bowl here. Again, 110. Now, what I will tell you is if you don't have a GFCI to plug this into, which is a ground fault circuit interrupter over there, then go buy one. They sell them at Home Depot. They're like that big. You can just plug into any outlet and get a GFCI. And what that'll do is keep, if you screw this up, keep things from exploding. Error. Wonderful. Error what? No ground. None of that. Alright, I will diagnose said error and come back. Yeah, I realize I'm stupid because it's detecting there's no temperature probe, and if it's a temperature controlled unit, it wants to know the temperature. So now, let's see if it gives me the error. It does not. 24 degrees Celsius. Alright, I'm going to switch this. I'm going to hold down the settings key. Temperature set. Celsius, Fahrenheit. I want to go to Fahrenheit. I want to go to Fahrenheit. Calibration, we're not touching the calibration. PT, that's the temperature between degrees. I'm going to go to 0. D set is also 0. That's delay, I'm sorry. D is delay. And temperature set. Let's do like 100. Let's do 90 degrees. So temperature sets 90 in Fahrenheit. We're not calibrating. And then PT and DS, 1 degree difference. Shut it off. Alright, she says heat. It means that should be getting hot. Yeah, guess what? That's going to boil water in my pot. So, 944 watts. So I'm going to shut this off by unplugging it and letting that cool down for a second. Because that's what's going to be getting our water temperature just right. Some insane amount of power, and then it's going to be like, all right, I'm good now. Off. And using the cooler, I actually did a test here. I put 128 degree water out of the tap into that cooler. I filled it up, and over every half hour I checked it, and I went from 128 to 106 in 8 hours. So that cooler alone is just going to keep the water over 100 degrees for, you know, hours. So this thing should have very little to do. Well, it's just going to be like, all right, on for, you know, if it's on for a minute every half hour, that's probably going to be fine. So it's not going to be like a super inefficient thing. And actually, when I woke up the next day after 19 and a half hours, it was at 90 degrees still. So that's cold work. Now this is going to be hot. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's still hot. 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 Smells like burning. So we're done with this for now. Obviously these wires are going to get straightened up and shortened, and I'm sure this probe wire can be cut down. Let's go back to work. Alright, so now that I know it works, the electronics of this situation work. When it screams error at you, you freak out because you're using 110, and you know, you do not want So now we have the fun part. We're going to have to get my drill. We'll have to go outside. We're going to take this heavy plate and one of these. You don't need two. I bought package, came with two. We're going to drill this. I think twice should be enough. Then bend it, and then we're going to drill this and screw it in there. So it's like that. So let me get my... Are we big enough? I don't know if there's a flip around. Done. And that was easy. This is the hard one. Oh, galvanized steel, I hate you. This might be something I can't record all the way. That's why that nail is important. Keep shit from spinning. Done. It's done here. Okay. So now we could take this. Need another bigger pliers. All my tools. So many tools. I mean, someone posted on Reddit. Actually, I'm going to use this, even though this is not the right tool. Oh, another pair of like actual pliers. There you go. Like that. Alright, now we can come back. Where's my magic marker? There's my magic marker. We're going to assemble this. And where's my pipe? Now it's got a flare on it because this is a plumbing thing. It's for something specific. And I'm not sure where I want this flare, if I want it at the bottom or the top. I'm thinking the bottom, just for giggles. So it's probably going to go in the pipe like this, but I'm going to still have to mark and drill the outside. So like that. Hole, hole. Now I could use a smaller bit. I have smaller things. That's marked. Now to find the drill bit I need. There we go. 3/16. Ow. 1/4 inch goes away. Again, you can use any size nuts, nut and bolt for this. Alright, I'm going to go drill holes in this, do it outside with the camera. Alright, now I did the 2 holes here, so that's the mount, so it's going to sit like this. Now, I'm assuming the heat in this is going to make the hot water rise. So water is going to come in, get heated, and come out the top. But, since I have to have that element sort of out of the water, because it's 110, I can't, this won't actually be flowing out of here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to drill a few holes here, and then a bunch more holes here so the water can flow sort of into the pipe and out of the pipe without going to the ends. And I put on a larger 5/16 for this purpose. I don't know if I'm going to be able to... One, other side of the hole. No, come on. 2, I think 4 holes. So there's 4 holes in. It's brass in here, that's nice. And now the out, which is the more important side, is here. So I'm probably going to do just 8 or 9 of them. I don't even know how many. 1. 2. 3. 4. I love when you get that piece of metal under your fingertips. That's great. Now I'm weakening it every time I drill a hole, so I can't push down quite as hard without risking just collapsing the whole thing. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So water is going to come in, and then I have 7 ways for it to go. Let's add another 2. Let's just go for broke. Whoop. Yeah, if you don't know if you care about this project, Sous Vide, man. Sous Vide. Screw it. Screw it. We're doing it live. This is nice and thin material. Yes. No one cares about that anyway. Good, 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 good. Excellent. Now, I am going to have to pop a couple more holes in here. Small ones, though, because I'm going to suspend the element with stainless steel wire. Now, I thought of other ways to do this. I could have drilled 3 holes and had screws sort of hold it in place, which I could still do, but I think the wire is going to be easier. Yes. Yes. Okay, so that's going to go like that. Let's see if I can get this together, actually. one. Do the farther one first. I think that seems like a good plan of action. Where's my nut? Lock washers for this? I do not. I'm just going to double the nuts up. Double them nuts up. Double them nuts. Now, this galvanized plate is probably at some point in its life going to rust, but I'll worry about that, and I could always give it a coat of paint when it arrives. Oh, this is the fun bit. Where's my... Why are you magnetized? I didn't give you permission to be magnetized. Come on. They all do line up, right? Yeah. It's just gonna be a bitch. All right, let me get this set up. Take some pictures. Again, Imager album. Okay, I drilled actually like 4 holes up here. I drilled straight back, 1, 2, 3, and then here I drilled straight down and went straight through, and then I drilled either side of this bracket so that I could use. Where is it? Oh, here it is. It's sitting out. This wire is just going to go and wrap around the element. Hopefully the element's cooled off. And there you go. Then we're going to be ready to rock and roll. And then I can mount this to this. Not sure if I should mount this first. Maybe I should mount this first. Yeah. Let's do that. Now this is going to stick up a bit. And it won't really matter because it's just being submerged in the water and acting as a weight. Why is the Hawaii 5-0 theme stuck in my head? Not the new one, the original. Crank, crank. I love these wire cutters that have little. That's why I carry one around all the time. Pada badonk. Now the water level I've chosen is this line here. So as you can see, we're a little bit too high. And I'm going to have to strategically bend that.
Boy, tricky. I'm on Helen curve.
Like
so
that.
I'm enjoying this one.
There. So now that's perfect. So let's get our heating element. Let's touch it. Let's see if our heating element is touchable. Otherwise, some of those holes are still very sharp, and I haven't gone into any detail on how to help you with that because I'm not going to. Now, this heating element warms up. This last 1/4 inch does not get hot, and this top bit here, this last 1/2 inch, does not get hot. But you still have to get as much of this into the water as possible. Otherwise, I'm going to make fajitas later. So, we're looking at something like this. Now, I thought about wrapping this in silicone or something, but it just gets too hot, and I'm worried the silicone is just going to melt. I have like a rubber electrical stop. Actually, I don't know the temperature on that stuff. I'd have to look it up. Alright, so where are we? I should have, if I was smart, use the disconnectors here, the ones that just disconnect, so I don't have to carry this mass, black and white mass, which I'm now, oh god, now carrying. Bam. Perfect. Look at it. Nice and organized and neat. Sure it is. Alright, so I'm going to need my wire cutters. Figure out how this is going to get mounted. Now this element could actually stick out a little bit past the bottom, but I'm not going to. I'm going to have it, it's exactly the same length. This is an 8-inch element, this is an 8-inch piece of pipe. So, I'm just going to cut me a piece of this because I have no idea in what way I want this to work. But you'll get the idea. Should double it up. Fold it in half. I think that's a good start. Give this a nice point so I can like thread it like a needle. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
accidentally to hell on earth. Do you want to try it until we lose? And then we'll...
Play Hell on Earth till you lose. That won't be hard.
Yeah. You get crazy XP.
Okay. We'll go down. And we'll go up. Actually, I can go down in both. Yeah, I'm making this extra intricate for no reason. Here we go. Fucking Canadians, always cursing up my vent. Vent info is available on my subreddit if you want to join. I figure if you can make it to Reddit, and you could probably make it to my vent.
Wow, I got no money because I didn't finish the round. Nothing.
I'm just gonna twist this together for now. Alright, see that little X? There's a spot right in the middle. Ugh.
I made it to round 3 on Hell on Earth in solo.
So there you go.
Well, made it past round 3.
What the hell's the lens on this?
Immediately.
I should be able to get it right in there and slide it down. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the bottom, and then I'll just cut off this excess. Because how pretty this is, you know, stop worrying, damn it. You're building a $60 Sous Vide oven, water oven. That system worked well. Let's... Hmm? Wow, I'm good. Let's just leave that there.
By the way, the husks can shoot fire like flamethrower, like 50, 100 feet out. So be careful of that.
Fold that up. That's much neater than the stop one.
Look at that XP, that fire right there, I just got 200.
Killing flare. Okay. Don't mess up your tools doing this. Okay. Thicker screwdriver. Make sure you leave enough slack to wiggle it into the center. Thinner screwdriver. Okay. That should be perfect.
Oh yeah, the boom.
Everything's just furiously running all the time.
Yeah.
Before I damage my wire cutters, the good ones, let me go get my tool that I misused previously. Or I was gonna misuse this. But this thing, this is precisely what this is for. Let me get a good grip on this. Give it another twist.
Wow, you get no money.
No.
Watch your eyes, by the way. There it is. Okay. Bam. Take my little pliers, just bend all the ends down. Or up. Ah, shit. Definitely messed up these jaws trying to cut that.
Oh, yeah.
I got my file on that. So leave those alone for now. Use the right tools, people. Use the right tools for the jobs.
Melee and knife are both valid options.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, oh yeah.
I have absolutely no money.
The right tool for the job.
Oh my god.
Wow, he's got an amazing garden. And just lay you down on silky sheets. Yeah.
I think that was...
I may have made that
I
too
think
tight.
there's
Hold on.
a filter on that voice tricky. It sounds too.
I don't know.
Alright, that one's good. My bottom. Who's my bottom bitch? Here we go.
By the way, do damage to the big guys because it gives you retarded XP.
Retarded SP. There it is. She's just sitting there, perfectly centered. Want to tighten it up? There we go. 1,
That guy's voice.
2.
I didn't even get to upgrade my weapon, and I have no money.
All right, this is actually good that we could like sort of tweak this back a little bit. So when I have it in the water, I want to know I can. We're essentially done here, people.
I don't think we're quite ready for the unearthed treasure.
I don't know, there's some Roby things. There seem to be
Convenient. Convenient. I'm ready to give this a run, man. Now, I don't have anything to actually sous vide today. That will come from Costco later. Joy comes from knowing and loving God. Makes my heart leap. Pure happiness that only the Lord can provide. Makes me shout praises to Him. As the worst housewarming gift ever. Except if you're religious, then you're just like, you're actually doing all that stuff for joy. Now, so this is all that has to be in it. Like, I haven't decided if I'm going on the side like this. I guess it depends on what I'm cooking. Like a roast beef would be perfect like this. If I'm doing ribs long ways, this would be perfect. Now, like I said, these wires do get hot. How hot, I'm not 100% sure yet. Okay, don't fall. Don't fall, it's fine. I may put a wrap. Actually, I might just make a wrap out of tin foil. Just keep these from... Cause let's just say I had... I did a test yesterday and I used this. Did you see that? I had this clipped onto the wires like there. And it got... what's that burning smell? So there you go. So hot will extend. Because this is solid wires in here and then it goes to the actual wires. So I'm assuming to like here, it's gonna be fine. But I don't want to be able to. I don't want to risk it with anything closer than that. And that came out perfect. That's fucking perfect. However, this will still clamp a bag of potato chips closed, so I'm happy. Now, whether this will take 160 degree water, which is the hottest you ever need to get, is like 160 degrees for pork. Or, well, duck. I don't know the temperatures of all the meats. All right, you happy? But definitely pork and dark meat, chicken, anything like that. You want to be able to get your water 160 instead of there. So, now, oh, yeah. Now I had contemplated the idea of drilling a hole in the side of my cooler here and just mounting this probe. You want it on the opposite side of where the heater is because you don't want the heater affecting it. So if I did it like that, it would come in over here. But this should be waterproof. I'm saying should because I haven't actually tested it. I may just get some heat shrink and just double line this with heat shrink. Just so I can leave it like that. You want to have it in the middle of the tank. You don't want it at the bottom, you don't want it at the top. There will be hotter water at the top than there is at the bottom. And your meat's likely going to be floating somewhere in the middle. So we're just going to attach it like that. Or like that. So, let me go do that, and then I'll start this pig up, and we'll see what you do. Alright, so here's the lid, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to use said lid unless I figure out, like, if it could just work in this corner. Like, if that corner worked, great. Because it's going to be just sucking up and then hopefully making a flow happen. If that corner worked, I would just figure out where I needed to cut and cut like a 4x4, 6x6 hole here. Just so I can keep this, the cat. I don't want the cat playing with the meat or anything. It'll also help prevent any loss of water over, 160 degree water will eventually evaporate. Even at not boiling temperatures. I used a heat shrink here just because I could. And to protect this wire from the plastic. I don't know what's going to happen until I plug it in. And I ran an extra piece here. And I haven't decided how I want to situate this. I might be able to just get like a clip, like a metal clip or something like that thing. Just have it sit here, just so it sits here. Or I just notch the edge of the box, put it in there. Because the cooler was cheap. Everything was cheap. The whole point of this build is it was cheap. Even that thing is cheap. But it should work. I'd like the lid just so I could mount the display, the little ink bird, like that. And then I could actually shorten this if I needed to. Look at that. It's going to sit so nice. And I'll try to straighten up the wires a bit. Filling it's a pain in the ass because it fits in my sink, but then I can't really get it out of my sink because these handles are sort of like nearly wedged. But, alright. One more time. I'll have hot water in it in a second. I'm going to put this hot... You always start it with the hottest water you can out of your sink. So I can get 128. I know that. And then you see how... I'm going to try to get it to 160 and see what kind of burning, plasticky, electrocution-y smell things happen. I'm also going to... That's the only GFCI I have right now. I have one of those little add-on units which will let me plug it in anywhere in the house. It's just lost in the room. The room, I'm going to call it. So, until then, I have my projector and refrigerator plugged in this one. So I really don't feel like biting off of that one. So I'm going to use my kilowatt, and I'll put it on, well, I'm going to do the full test at some point, where I see exactly what kind of wattage it draws over like a 24-hour period. Back with water. Alright, 4.5 gallons of my hottest tap water, which is going to temperature, let me put the temperature, secondary probe in. This should be around 128 if it's anything like yesterday. I'm going to put them right next, put the probes right next to each other. Actually go through this. Yes. Yes. 109, 111. Let that count. I've got it on my wheelie cart. And there's fire extinguishers right there, by the way. Anyone who's doing anything along these lines, fire extinguisher. Always, forever. Got a clamp holding the wires. It's still set to 100. What did we set it to? 100? 125. Okay, the time it took me to fill it from pot to pot. I could accept that. So I'm going to plug this in. Cool. No, not that it's cool that it's on, but it says it's cooling. Now, that means this hasn't enabled. So I'm going to just adjust this. Because I want to put as little of this thing out of the water as I can. So like there. That's as close as I want to get the water to that. Hopefully it doesn't boil in there and start steaming up. But, you know, hope's a terrible thing. Set. Temperature set. I was set to 90. That's right, I set it to 90. Let's do it, man. Let's do 160 and see if she gets there. Power. Now she should be sending... Oh yeah, bitch is screaming now. I wish I had food coloring so I could see if there's a circular motion. Damn it, I keep finding those little rubber feet on the floor. They'd be perfect for this. They would just float on top. Like a glove, as Ace Ventura would say. Alright, it's at 126. My things here is reading 125. It's pretty close. I could actually see the convex lines of heated water just doing this. So we'll time it. Can I start this? I can! That's a cool little thing. It's a countdown and count up timer. Still wish I had food coloring. I wouldn't put anything else in this water except for, you know, you do not want to put oil or anything or salt, anything to make that worse, because that's stuff. And I could actually, now that I know the temperature's good, and I'm going to set this to alert, because it won't tell me when it gets there, it'll just get there. So let me set this to 157. Look at that. Look, the convex, just like I imagined it. Perfect. Now, so like I was saying, when it gets there, this will alert. But I could use that probe to see, like, when I filled this with hot water the other day, the outside of this cooler never got warm. So I'll see if it gets warm today, and I'll also see if the plastic starts warping. I may have to move this away, but that is plenty of space. I also have to that's 4.5 gallons of water. Once if I were to fill this with a piece of meat, that would displace a lot of water. I gotta put the meat in first, then fill it, so I know how much to fill it. Because you don't want, if I just added something heavy into this right now, the water would come up and get too near the 110 contacts. 1 foot by roughly a foot. I wouldn't put anything bigger than that. And the depth is 5 inches. So any amount of meat I could fit within 1 foot by 1 foot by 5 inches. Get out of the corner. I got actually, the whole thing is swirling. That is awesome. That is precisely what I was looking at. And I have no idea how long it's going to take to warm up 4.5 gallons of water, especially with no lid on it, because a lot of the heat's probably escaping up. I could sort of like just put the lid on this side, or I can get a metal. Actually, it might be better off getting just a metal sheet pan and putting that there. We'll see. I'll put this video back on when we get near 157. It's approximately 7 o'clock. Approximately. Alright. My roommate stopped by, so I stopped recording and took my camera up ahead. It took 50 minutes to go from 125 to the first click off at 160. Now, I've got it covered here, as you can see, because there's a lot of heat loss due to steam just straight out the top. Oh, God. Wet. Wet. So it's just steam everywhere. I've also lost approximately 1/8 of an inch of water, I think. It's hard to judge. I should have put something there. But, you hear? No sound. She's off. I've got the second thermometer right here. And that was to see if the water near the edge of the box was getting real hot and going to mess anything up. 1 degree difference from that side to this side. The convex worked. It shuts off. It does. I have it set to 1 degree tolerance, so it goes from 160 to 158.9 and clicks back on. And it's usually like a 3-minute cycle or 4-minute cycle before it turns off again. And every time it does it, it's 1,000 watts. And that's why I had the cover sort of on it. So I'm going to mark this cover and cut this area out, because I can't press this down any further. And I'm pretty sure I shouldn't pressurize the box. I mean, I know it's not going to explode off like a pressure cooker, but still, either way you look at it. See? 159. When that goes to 158, another... It's like 6 minutes off, 4 minutes on. I haven't really timed it. But, kilowatt... 1.2 kilowatts. Don't assume that's everything, though, because I had my rice cooker on that earlier. Pretty sure. So that's my rice cooker. That's a cycle of my rice cooker and then this. So that's inaccurate as hell. But, click on. So once I'm covered here with this thing, hole cut in it, that's it. I'm ready to sous vide. So, and this is 160. This is the hottest it'll ever have to be ever to cook a meat. So once I'm getting out into like the beef range, like the 130s, it should be way fast. 50 minutes. First of all, let me tell you, 30 minutes into it, I was at 152. That last 8 degrees took like another half hour. But I think it's just because it's only an 800 watt unit. If it was a 1,000 watt unit and 2 inches longer, maybe it would have been faster. But absolutely perfect. Sides of this don't even get warm to the touch. Meanwhile, the inside is fucking 160 degrees is what that is. I get out my Insta-read. Everyone should have an Insta-read. 90, 129, 144, 149, 51, 53, 54, 56, 57, 58, 59, 159.6.